Chama Wingapo. Chama Wingapo. Sasha She. Alright, I'm in the rain and I'm driving, so y'all, yeah, you're gonna hear those wipers. Right. Rain and driving, but I wanted to talk to you guys today. I hope you can hear me. Um, put a one in the chat if you can hear. Just let me know you can hear me, okay? I don't see the. Okay, thank you guys. It's moving slow. I'm in the storm. I'm driving, but I had to get this information out to you guys before I forget because I was supposed to get on last night, but I was up with Little Bear, so I couldn't do it. Hey, Davita, cousin Davita, Gapo. Hey, Walter. Hey, Blue. Hey, Rodane. Oh, when Gapo Star Strike. All right, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. Okay, I'm glad y'all can hear. Let me know if it's too low because I'm using the mic in my car. I got the car mic on. Hey, good morning, DC Big. Lito, Alicia. All right, so we're gonna get into it in 1 second because there's a lot of misconceptions. A couple of y'all inboxed me asking me to talk about it. I'm gonna cut these wipers off for a second. When God folks, Celestine, OCO, Pompano. So, we celebrated around this time of year. This was a big celebration around this time of year, okay? Especially dealing with this blue moon that we had last night. Some of y'all saw it. I mean, it wasn't that blue from what I could see, but it's definitely considered a blue moon, okay? It's really not about the coloring of the moon, it's about the energy that the moon releases. Okay, so yesterday was the hunter's moon in the woodland culture. Okay, the hunter's moon represents hunting, of course. It was a good time of year that the men went hunting. The light was so good from the moon that it was easier for them to hunt the night animals. Animals like turkeys, beavers, muskrat, creatures like that. Okay, so y'all know what time is coming close. So it will be important around this time to be getting so at the beginning of the month was the harvest moon or the beaver moon, that red moon we had, the blood moon we had. Yeah, no, that was the beaver's moon. The harvest moon, excuse me, is around the Thanksgiving time. Okay, right. Yes, it's the second full moon within this month, which is very rare. We don't have two full moons during this month, especially not this blue moon. That's why our elders got that saying, once in a blue moon, right? I know mine's always talk about once in a blue moon, okay? Because it was special in our culture, right? Something a rare occurrence, and it was a blessing. The blue moon was a blessing or blessing, whatever y'all etymology people want to say. Um, and it will make hunting even better. Okay, this was not an evil time of the year. Okay, we did not do blood sacrifices or whatever stuff that they did in Europe. We didn't do that here. We don't do that here. Okay, right? So it was more about, unless you consider the killing the animals, the hunting of the animals, the sacrifice. So you all want to consider that. So, hey, what's up, Orlando, Renzo, Akita, Adas? Oh, I don't want to mess your name up. Adasunu. I think I got that right. Yeah, so it's a lot of misconceptions dealing with our culture. Okay, so what we had ceremonies around this time, especially for the blue moon. There's specific ceremonies for the men, okay, because they had hunting ceremonies, and then one for the tribe or the visitors too. Excuse me, y'all. Also, we celebrated our ancestors, right? The dead ancestors, and that's how we have this Day of the Dead that was been morphed from an older ceremony that we had back in Mesoamerica, and before that back in South America, and before that back in Canada, and before that back in Antarctica. But we can go on and on all day for that. So the culture in Mexico and the culture up here has a connection. We see it with these ceremonies. They don't want to admit that a lot of our ancestors migrated up from there, but we know they did. Right, you said native culture was not evil. Right, everything we did for a reason and a purpose, and most of the time for the greater good of our clan and our tribe. Okay, everything was about the clan. Everything we did was for the greater good of everybody. You said you can hear? Okay. I wish I had some water too. Oh, in the back. Davida, you said we had ceremonies for the harvest as well. Right, that's a separate ceremony. So each of these ceremonies that we had was called what? Thanksgivings. Okay? So we had a Thanksgiving ceremony for the blue moon, for the hunter's moon. We had a Thanksgiving ceremony for the harvest moon, excuse me. The harvest moon that we have during the current modern Thanksgiving time, okay? So we had probably about 13 different Thanksgivings per a Gregorian year mark, if y'all understand what I'm saying. So in the woodland cultures, we didn't have 12 months, we had 13 months, okay? 13 was our sacred number. Everything was about 13, right? The 13 tribes of the She, the 13 calendar months in the year, right? 13 clans, etc., etc., different patterns of 13. Yes, please share the video out. You guys like it, please. Please. I'm trying to get up to 10,000 subscribers so we can have our giveaway. I'm probably going to give away one of the books on the book list, or, an interesting book, or one of my indigenous artifacts, trinkets, whatever you want to call them. One of them things. What up, Eugene? Yes, we had 13 months, okay? So those months were split into, I believe, 3 different quarters, if I remember correctly. It depends on which culture you're talking about. So within one Gregorian year, those 13 months were split into, how many seasons? 5 seasons, I believe we had. So we have an extra season as well. I'm going based on mostly the Powhatan culture, and other Algonquian and Iroquois cultures. How was the 13 colonies formed? Um, 13 colonies as a whole different subject. Y'all already know. It's about to get rough out here, y'all. I'm getting on the highway. Hold on. These people drive like they. These people drive like they ain't never been nowhere before. Like they crash dummies. Okay. We in Merlin, so that's how they drive out here. They drive like they ain't got no sense. The 13 colonies, y'all know they steal everything that we had. So 13 colonies is based on the 13 tribes of the She. 13 tribes of the She originated out of where? Mexico, Belize, down that area. Okay, and they had groups of people who went out to Egypt, to Angkor Wat, to several other places, and they built colonies. Okay, I know that's making some of the Hotep sick, but Egypt is a colony of the She, of Mesoamerica. There's too much evidence supporting that. Okay, so a lot of that culture was here before it was over in North Africa. Thank you, y'all. I'm trying to drive slow, and they drive like maniacs out here. So if you driving the speed limit or you driving a little bit slower, even if it's raining, they're gonna try to run you off the road. So just stay in the slow lane. Excuse me. So yeah, and that when you realize that about the colonies, a lot of things are gonna make sense. Okay. Um, there's certain pyramid texts. There's the emerald tablets. There's certain things that let it be known that the people started in Atlantis, here in the Americas. Okay. You said, when's the tour coming to Nashville? We're trying to decide when we come to Tennessee, whether we're going to come to Memphis or Nashville, or we might do both. We got to see how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull over for a second. So, yeah, a lot of people don't know about that, okay? So people are talking about 12 tribes of Israel, but they're basing that off of the 13 tribes of the She, okay? Or wherever you want to call these people. All these are misnomers anyways. But we just use these misnomers so people to organize it so people can understand. And then people still don't understand what's going on. All right, some of this knowledge, those of us from those bloodlines, from the priesthood bloodlines, we have in our DNA and we have in our genetic memory. Okay, so some things might not be in books, and then other things are in books to prove what we're saying is correct. Okay, some people might think both are freestyling or whatever. I'm not the only one who's saying this. I had to correct some people on the number of tribes because they're saying 12, but then they forget the original tribe. So you can't just say 12. And it doesn't have anything to do with religion. Okay, this stuff was going on before religion. Hey, Carlene. You said yes, it's a placeholder name. Right, exactly. These are misnomers. L. Lewis, L. Lewis, you said it's originally 13 tribes of Israel. God of Israel destroyed the tribe again. See, I'm not versed in Christianity, so I'm not sure on that. But I know from what I know of my ancient tribe, my ancient people. That's what I'm talking about. So if y'all can fit that into y'all narrative of Hebrews or Israel or all this stuff, okay, that's fine. I'm just telling it like it is. I don't have an agenda behind what I'm telling. I'm just telling you because I am getting the message through my dreams that this information needs to be put out. Okay, so and you can find those. I'm gonna try to put the receipts up to what I'm saying soon because I have the receipts. And like I said, it's not like I'm freestyling. Some of the stuff might come off like I'm freestyling, but I can always. People know from over the years that they've been following me. Everything I say, I can find the information to back up what I'm saying. Okay. Used to be known in the battle chats for having the receipts, right? And the Pan Africans used to be so upset because they were thinking I'm pseudo, and then I pull out receipts, and they act like they ain't got no sense, and they can't read what I just showed them. So, hey Jay, how y'all doing? So, this is why we can't go by the mainstream narrative a lot of times because they're guessing. They don't have the full scope of what's going on, right? And especially they don't want a lot of information dealing with us out there for the public because what does that do? That is a problem for them. They can't keep control, and they can't stop us from going back to our full potential. Okay, because like Bobby Hemmings said, this stuff here is over. Whatever the stuff is going on now, all the stuff is about to crumble, right? And it's going to be something new, right? Other people is going to be, y'all want to be one of the people going around in circles, or y'all going to be one of the people ascending, okay? No, they can't handle the information. You see, all of us see from what we're finding out just about being indigenous, period, that they've been hiding a lot of information. There's a lot of information that's untold, right? So you got to think, why would they hide the identity of these people from themselves? Because they know who we are, and they don't want us to be who we really are. Because that means all this stuff is a wrap. Okay, a lot of these things that we think is important in materialism is not important. It's about ascending, getting up out of here. Okay, they like to say that certain cultures disappeared, and oh, what happened to the people of Angkor Wat? What happened to the people of what happened to the Olmecs and all these people? A lot of people migrated away, or they ascended, and they're not coming back here to this lower realm, right? And it's in all these different books. It's in the people's Bibles, it's in the Quran, it's in Torah, Kabbalah, all these different ancient books. But people are taking certain things literally, but certain things are metaphorically, spiritually. Eugenia says a lot of natives and pan frauds go to the catchphrase pseudo. Right. They don't even know what they're talking about half the time, right? They just want to argue. And I will say probably 80% of them are paid off. That's their job, to come and argue and throw us off off of our information. They're paid to make us doubt ourselves, make us call our grandmas liars, for one thing, right? Because a lot of our grandmas told us what we are, and that was the main clue to figuring out more information going down that rabbit hole. Gio, you said it's their vibration. They don't catch the wavelengths. That's why they can't comprehend. Right. But, a lot of times they ain't meant to catch our waves. That's the problem. They all on our wave, and it's not for them. even if they have this information, even if they know who we are and know what to do, it's not going to work for them, right? Certain things our ancestors made to work for us. And it had nothing to do with appearances. It has to do with bloodlines. This is what people are not getting. Eugene, you said there's one way to make people mad when they say that Europeans never traveled to the Americas. They didn't know the difference between real indigenous people and the Africans. Right, yeah, and they said it several times. They said, we look not unlike the Ethiopians, saying that we look like the Ethiopians. In Ethiopia at the time, that meant people from the whole continent, because they were calling after the whole continent after Ethiopia. And they called South America Ethiopia as well. So you will see that they couldn't tell the difference from the people. Yes, they want to call grandma a liar because grandma knew, no matter what religion or whatever beliefs grandma had, she knew this information. Okay, a lot of this information is buried in these different ideologies. All right, y'all. I told y'all I'm driving, so it's hard. It's hard. I'm trying to read y'all information. Uh-huh. You said we just got in what we're discussing. We're discussing some of the ancient knowledge that's connecting the blue moon, connecting the Day of the Dead, connecting Mesoamerica with northern northern America, because Mexico's still North America as well. So you said like the Delaware Moors, Lenape Moors. I trace my genealogy back 500 years with the gaps. And those names, Delaware Moor, those are just misnomers. They call them that because those people, the Lenape, look like the same people that was in Europe, right? The dark-skinned people. It's not that they were Moors, it's because they looked alike. Just like I said about the whole Ethiopia thing. They're calling people from the continent of Africa and people of South America Ethiopian at one time. Ethiopian is a description word. That's not even what Ethiopia is called. Ethiopia is Abyssinia, right? So, in dealing with the Day of the Dead, it's not something spooky, it's not something evil. Basically, you're celebrating your ancestors, and this time of year is a time when they say the veil is thin between the realms, between spiritual realm and this physical realm. And this physical realm is a very low realm, okay? So they can easily cross over. And that's for all types of spirits, not just the lost, wandering, ghost type spirit. Oh, thank you, Martin, for the donations, for the gifts. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, please hit the Cash App. I was showing y'all this week that what I do with the money, I'm not blowing the money. I'm buying more books and, studying and getting more information to give to you all. Because that's what it's about, having everyone who is on the same level, who is willing to learn the information. If I learn something, I want y'all to learn it too. I'm not trying to hoard the information, but certain ways that it has to come out so that people comprehend it. Right, Davida? Yeah, this description, that whole more thing is a description word. It's a description word. It's it's a description word for several different people. Okay, so it wouldn't be the accurate word. All right, the tribe or the clan names of the people from wherever they were is the accurate name of the people. Yes, Christopher, the blue moon, that's what we were talking about. Blue moon has to do with the hunter's moon celebration, that certain Thanksgiving celebration that we had. And I was saying that we had, typically we had 13 different Thanksgivings per year for this Gregorian calendar year, if you understand what I'm saying. Oh, it's just traffic, y'all. You said, I thought it was celebrating August or summer. You're thinking about the green corn. So, Geo, is several different Thanksgivings. Several different Thanksgivings. So, the one coming up that we celebrate as Thanksgiving on the modern Gregorian calendar, that is considered harvest moon. So, that's when people usually harvest their crops. Corn is yellow, people have all their beans and stuff. So that's why we usually have that good Thanksgiving dinner, that's where it culturally comes from. Get the cranberries, all these things that we eat for Thanksgiving mostly, besides like mac and cheese, are indigenous foods, indigenous meals. Thank you, Celestine. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate y'all. So all these things have properties to them. If you want to break down that, I was going to do a separate video with that, but we're going to talk about it a little bit now. Like the cranberries, it's not just good, it's a lot of healing properties. And there's a reason why the women chose to cook these meals, okay? So in our culture, the women were, they were part of the healers, okay? They worked hand in hand with the healers, and our food used to have healing properties, okay? And the women, they did chants and they did songs. Y'all know how your grandma and them used to be singing in the kitchen, have music going, and they had to be in a good mood. Some of our grandmas said, don't eat food from an angry woman, right? Have y'all heard of that before? Or an angry man? Because that energy gets passed on into your food. And y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want angry food. And that negative energy is being passed on to your children. So if you're cooking, your husband cooking, your wife, whoever, you want them to be in a good mood. You don't want to start no argument while they over there frying chicken. Because all that negative energy is going to go into the food, right? You say onions in the socks. Yeah, that was something that the healers did. So the women all had to learn a little bit of healing. They weren't considered healers, but they had to know just enough to support their family. And the stuff that they didn't know, the big stuff, they went to the medicine people, right? So, but that's like today, like, our mamas, grandmas, dads, grandpas know a little bit of the healing stuff, Like you said, socks and the onions in the socks. But if you get breaking your arm or something, you might want to go to the doctor. So that's the same way. Yeah, big mama food, big mama house, right? Get off this highway. So that's what the big mamas are for. They weren't called just big mamas because they was big. They was the like we said, grandmama, big mama. Even though they're not your direct mother, you weren't born from them, they're still your mother. They still nurtured you and took care of you. Right? So that's what that means. So that's why some of us, we might have a great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother. We just call her grandmother because she is the grandmother over your mother, regardless of, the descendancy. Yadamin, you said my mother's grandmother is Cherokee mixed with Irish. I don't know how that works out, but it's confusing. Oh, so yeah, so people with that Cherokee, that Anawaia, Kitawa, mixed with Irish, y'all will see certain healing things from the Celtic belief system as well. A lot of the Celtics, just like we did over here, did a lot of healing with the nature and trees and things like that. They were good herbalists too for their area, Celtics. So a lot of us had that in us. We have the Celtic and Highlander blood in us as well. And like I consistently say, and Phoenix has been saying as well for years, a lot of those people over there in Ireland and Scotland that came over here were not pale people. They weren't so-called white people. Okay, a lot of them were the indigenous people from over there. Yep, you say grandma spirit, right? The big mama spirit. And those are big mama. Big mama knew how to put that healing energy in your food. Okay, so people make a lot of stuff to be spooky when it really isn't. It's science. There's science to it. Just like sage was proven by science to clear negative ions out of the atmosphere. Okay, it clears negative energy. So the stuff is not pseudo or spooky. It's backed by science. It's just the people, the Western people, or whatever you want to call them, European people, just did not understand our big mama science, right? Our grandmama science, grandpapa science. A lot of grandpapas were healers too, were medicine men. Okay, and Phoenix Moon was just talking about Michael Jackson's grandfather, great grandfather, being a medicine man. So he had that energy, and y'all know, a lot of y'all know Michael Jackson. His music had the healing powers to him. Y'all remember seeing in the 80s Michael Jackson go to those hospitals, and the kids that be sick as a dog, they hop up out of their bed, or they're sitting up smiling and dancing and singing with Michael Jackson. His music has certain tones and vibrations in it that had healing properties. Y'all can put that music on now, and y'all can go back in time. Like his music is like a time machine. So people don't understand those frequencies and the scientific elements to it. It's not something spooky. It's really something there. Have some of our traits too. Well, that goes back to what I'm saying. Those people, I don't want to get too deep in it. It's one of those tribes I was talking about earlier. Okay, y'all put those cultures, the Celtic culture and the woodland culture side by side. It's gonna look very similar. A lot of those people, they have ancestors from over here, right? You said you're Carter. Taylor's from Virginia. Carter's from Virginia. Jones from Philly. Celestine, you said, speaking of hunting, there's also indigenous medicine that they use for the eyes for hunting that gave them sharp vision at night. I can't remember the name of it. Tasha and family. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either, Celestine. I'll look into it. It's definitely, my grandma and them used to say that there is an herb or something from the earth that has a cure for everything. Okay. They would say God created something to cure everything. So everything that you need can be found in nature. That's what they used to say. That's that big, what do you say, big mama energy. Yeah. The Vikings mixed in as well. Yeah, they sure did. But and that's a whole another subject because a lot of them originated over here too. So we won't get too deep today. Get too deep into that. So you gotta correlate everything. Look at everything like it has a meaning. This is why a lot of people are wandering around like a chicken with their heads off. We don't have a purpose as a people. breaking. Oh, awesome. You said Cherokee and Irish fought for the long time. There were what prisoners of war. I'm sorry, I'm driving. On both sides. Sometimes they mix. Right, and that has to do with the when the Irish came here, their status as being enslaved, as well as a lot of them working as Indian agents and traders. So they would come in, basically spying on the tribes, reporting back information, just to get their little leverage up because they came from Hey, guys, I got cut off. Can y'all add one in the chat if you can hear me now? Yeah, I'm out in these woods, y'all. Driving through these woods. Can you put one in the chat? Let me know y'all hear me. I forgot what I was answering. I started talking and the thing went bloop. I don't know what's going on. So your grandmother was a spy? What? What a mean. Eugene, you said I found out my paternal second great grandmother, my great grandfather's draft card, and it had his last name spelled differently. Well, that's pretty common, Eugene. Y'all got to realize that a lot of these census workers was just regular folks trying to get a check. Um, they weren't that educated. They weren't the best spellers, and they guessed how to spell the names. They didn't know how to spell it, just like how they guessed what people's race was. Okay, they were told to put down colored or mulatto or Negro for a lot of the people that were indigenous. Okay, even because they were indigenous. Okay, most of them. mulatto does not mean that they was mixed at all. That's what makes everything confusing. People make this assumption when they say mulatto or colored on somebody's census record. It means mixed, but it does not. Okay. Most of the time, the person was not mixed. Okay. So people are saying that all these people were mixed back in the day. So still till this day, they do not know Mixed Moon, Legacy, people like that. So a lot of these other genealogies that you find or you encounter do not know anything. That's why they cannot find your indigenous ancestors because they do not know how to reinterpret the information. Right? They go by what those old ladies, some old lady organizations teach them. Okay, which they don't update. They're using stuff from the 1980s. A lot of that's outdated. They want to put everybody into slavery, right? And then they want to take the dignity of the slaves and say that all their last names came from slave masters, which if you look at these records, a lot of people came with their own last names, okay? You'll see people being traded around and they had their own last name already. Didn't inherit the last name from a slave master that they weren't related to. So a lot of that stuff goes out the window. Carrie Ford, you said, yep, Miss SP names, but nicknames as well. I noticed the race changed in different records as well. Right. Sometimes the race change, and then sometimes again, like I said, people aren't versed in the information, so they are looking at records from multiple different people who are not your ancestor. So you got to be able to determine whether the person is the same person that's your ancestor or not. Because back in the day, a lot of people had the same names. You know, even if they're the same race, they might have the same husband and wife with the same name. So you have to know how to look for this information. And you gotta double, triple check that information. I don't know why all my lives always end up we talking about genealogy. This ain't about the genealogy. Oh my goodness. You said look real. What you said, Red Man? Look really close at those M's on your ancestry. Right. Yeah, some of them are changed from IN to M, right? From Indian to mulatto. Okay. Almost 100% of the time, or 90%. I clicked the wrong thing. Um, Almost 90% of the time, those mulattoes on there are Indians. They just legally could not put down Indian. Okay, and that goes back to what I was telling y'all about Thomas Jefferson, basically trying to make the land abandoned so the United States could have full legal claim of it by saying that all the Indians were gone. So they had to change the identity to mulatto, colored, Negro, and for some of the mixed people, white. Okay, these all were misnomer terms because we know people in Europe didn't call themselves white then either. These are all misnomer terms to take the Indian off the land, right? Steal grandma's land because this is grandma's land. All right. In this culture, the grandmas own the land and the woodland cultures that a lot of us come from. So I was saying, you said, what are some other untruths about Halloween? Um, One of the untruths are that we did, like I was saying, that we did human sacrifices and things during this time of year, which we did not. And that a lot of that comes from European cultures. They kidnap children and women and do, assault them and off them. Certain words I can't use, so I don't want to get flagged. But yeah, they would use those people as sacrifices because of the spiritual elements dealing with that. Then they call it Sumerian or something like that. Uh, Hartford, you said. Harryford, you said. I would see black mulattoes the same. Yeah, sometimes you'll see somebody described as a dark mulatto. Okay, that would be like somebody darker than my complexion or my complexion. I don't know, depending on the time of year. If it's summertime, my complexion. Um, is someone that's a brown skin or dark skinned person that does not look very negroid. Okay, you see like the features that I have is in the middle. I would be considered a dark mulatto. You said Turks have Native American DNA. And the thing is with that, they're trying to say it's the other way around over here. I don't know if you're from Turkey or whatever, but they're trying to say groups like the Cherokee, Anawaya, Kitawa, whichever name you want to call them, um, are mixed with people from Turkey and the Middle East when it's the other way around. Okay, some of those people do have a recent mix. Some of them are recently mixed with Jewish people, and that's how they get that in their DNA. Other people are not. So that's where the issues come in with that. How awesome you said we keep meshing European things with ours because that's how we're taught growing up, and we have to be reprogrammed. Yes, we do, and that's why it's important to study the history. It's not the point of being stuck in the past. It's the point of analyzing what has already happened so you can get everything organized for you and your family to be able to benefit off of what happened in the past. Okay? To be prepared of what's going to happen to the future. I mean, on okay, everybody else know who their ancestors are, but they want you not to know because they benefit off it. They're making money selling y'all packages and all this other talking 12-hour videos of hate and all this foolishness that they got going on. When you have the power for yourself to figure out what's going on and how to figure out what's next. You shouldn't have to be sitting around letting somebody tell you what's next for you and your family. You should be figuring that out. Alita, what's with Halloween? um, Troy Sale, I think you missed most of what we were talking about. Earlier, you're going to have to go back and watch it. But the gist of it was that Halloween was not, well, we didn't call it Halloween over here. It was either the Hunter's Moon or it was still associated with the autumn equinox and the Beaver Moon. Okay. So it was not negative. It was a positive time. Day of the Dead was associated, and we appreciate the ancestors, appreciate the animals and nature as well. So we knew this was a time to get prepared at this time of year. So we would go hunting, and the women would prepare other foods to be stored for later. Okay, they would grind the corn up and make cornbread and stuff, easier food because it's gonna get cold. You see, I'm going in and out. Y'all put one in the chat that you can hear me because I'm driving. Eugene, you said this whole DNA thing is to make us think we descended from a halfway across the world. But they won't tell you that you got over 1 million ancestors in your family line. Right. I mean, that's just the recent ancestors. 1 million recent ancestors. And that's just the direct descendants who you directly descend from. It's not even like your grand uncle and their children, and you know what I'm saying, the siblings of your great great grandfather. They're not even including all those people. So you're connected to a lot of people. A lot of people. So a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, junk DNA, is something that has something to do with that. It's not junk. A lot of that stuff is information based on the studies that your ancestors compiled. Okay, there's codes and things hidden in your DNA. Your DNA is basically code. Those that are into computer coding understand what I'm saying. Yes, your family runs deep. Family runs deep. Yeah, so that's why I feel like genealogy is important. It's going to put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together because that combines the history, it combines the future. All these things come together with genealogy. Mhm. We always call out Skip over here, Eugene. We call out Skip all the time about his show and the information he's putting out because it's not accurate. Okay, like Carrie Davis been saying for years, African Americans ain't African. Okay, even if the people have some one ancestor that's from Africa, they're still not African. They've been here for hundreds of years. Okay, so we have our own culture, and it's based on Indigenous American culture. I don't know how hard that is. The stuff that we do over here, they don't do in Africa. Okay, the rhythm of our drum is different from theirs. Our dancing is different. Our trapping and our wapping is different. Our twerking, we twerk up and down, they twerk side to side, which looks crazy. Um, we dance, we do our two-step when we dance. They do some, I don't know what that puppet looking dance that they be doing. I don't like it. I like some of their other dances, but I don't like that new dance that they do that look like they. I don't get it. They look like a puppet. We just got different culture. I don't understand it. There's a reason why I don't understand it. Don't mean that it's not cool to them. I just don't get it. So yeah, you say you can go back a million years and still find us here. Yes, many of us. Yes, it was a people and a culture already here, and this is what they don't tell us. They don't want people to know that how long people have been here. They really don't. Gosh, it's a tight spot. I'm parking, y'all. They really don't not want people to know certain information. Okay, they want people to think that everybody came on the scene 7,000 years ago when a lot of those people from Europe, the dramatic people came on the scene, and that's not true. Yeah, sorry you said that is true about storing food. I remember my grandmother every fall coming in from school one day and see piles of corn, beans, etc. on her front porch. Yes, this is the time of year when we would do the canning and stuff. Um, the women used to have pots, made pottery to store the food. Okay, there's a way that you can make pottery to refrigerate food. If you make a big pot and you put water in it, or you put cold sand, and then you put a smaller pot in it, and you put that under the ground, you got yourself a refrigerator right there. So, and they knew how to do it to seal the air out. You said she would say, "Let's start shucking this corn and beans for the winter," and we would have corn year round, and we would freeze the vegetables and eat. Right? That's see, grandma. That's that grandma energy, big mama energy. That's the old school. They knew what they was doing, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the people had to nurture and make sure the family's fed. Right? When the men couldn't hunt, when it's like snow on the ground, it's hard to hunt. We always had to have the backup plan. Okay, the people work together. Men and women work together. Eugene said people should be calling a lot of this what? Calling out the gatekeepers. But I believe this is partly why the virus is out, and that's to let them twist around information and contort it. Oh, yeah, it's a lot to the virus, too, that a lot of people aren't talking about. Spiritual elements to that. Okay, so people not getting too deep. Yes, Catawba made a lot of pottery. Powhatan made pottery. I think about every tribe made pottery. Certain people made pottery better than others. The Gullah Geechee people, they like to do the sweetgrass baskets. All right. Y'all know sweetgrass is native to America. So people are saying that sweetgrass basket weaving is African culture, which makes absolutely no sense because we've been doing that for thousands of years here, and sweetgrass come from here, not from Africa. So used to take castor oil as a kid. Yeah, all those type of oils had healing properties to it. And a lot of the food that the vegans and the vegetarians eat today come from American Indian culture. We can go on into that in another video. So a lot of people, they saying vegan, they used to be vegan in Africa and all that. They possibly could not sustain that type of lifestyle without using crops from America. Okay, a lot of the vegans live off of beans and stuff that's only in America, right? Avocados, thank you. A lot of those things come from America. All the nut milks, the non-dairy milks, was comes from woodland cultures. Okay, we were making walnut milk, we were making almond milk. Um, I don't think we didn't have soy over here, but stuff like that. The the Europeans documented seeing us make, and they thought it was weird and crazy. Why are they making milk out of walnut? Why are they making milk out of almonds? Some of y'all that took the Powhatan language class saw the lessons that I talked about that in. Okay, we actually have words for our almond and our walnut milk. I think we made milk out of pecans too. Any type of nut we made milk out of. Oh, thank you, Dudley. Yes, this is our land. This is grandma land. This is grandma land. It's inflated numbers, inflated over 90%. Yes, it has a 90, what they said, 94, 96% recovery rate. That's way better than the common flu. It's way better than a lot of these diseases. 94, anything in the 90s is amazing recovery. So they got people scared about something that has 90 something recovery rate. You said you're emailing Professor last year about the status of Moundville. You know, a lot of the people, they don't want to comment on it because they don't know and they don't care. A lot of these people, professors and stuff, are ignorant to a lot of this information that we put out. A lot of these professors and stuff, I know there's several, watch our videos. Okay, they watch Phoenix Moon, they watch Tasha Shee, they watch Carrie Davis, Curry Mayo. They watch Curry Mayo. They definitely watch Curry Mayo. You know, they watch a lot of these different people, and they know their information matches the receipts that we have, right? So you'll start to see a lot of these studies come out based on a lot of this information that we have researched. Copper colored tie, you said, I still feel in my heart that our skin complexion has a lot to do with the earth, considering our skin complexion matches earth soil. That's very true. Earth, sand, clay. Remember Iman, the model, her makeup line used to have that. She has the earth color for the darker tones, and she has clay for the medium, and she has sand. So yeah, there's definitely correlations with that, right? Because we come from the soil, come from nature. It said ignorant on purpose. Oh yeah, they want to be quiet about it. It doesn't serve them anything well. It said peanut milk. Mm. Yeah, they actually did studies on different milks that we made. 98% recovery rate. There you go. It's in the 90s. No problem, Ivana. So, I'm gonna burn it up in here. Get this coat on. So yeah, this is, you know, a lot of the stuff they don't want us to think. They don't want us to connect these dots. They don't want us to be around each other because there's something called genetic transmutation. They don't want the energy to transmutate. Okay, that's why they want everyone to be 6 feet apart, wearing masks, because they know right now there's an energy shift with the planet. Y'all seeing all these fires, you're seeing earthquakes, you're seeing floods, because the planet is changing. The planet has a soul. She's changing, she's evolving, and the people will change it and evolve. Right? And they don't want to see the soul people changing and evolving, because what is that going to mean? They're going to lose leverage. They're going to lose leverage. Lexi, you said most of us are lactose intolerant. Right, because we didn't have that type of lactose. We had maybe buffalo milk. Some people ate buffalo milk, but everybody, like you said, lactose intolerant. Everybody couldn't drink buffalo milk. So most of the milk that we had here was vegan milk. It was considered vegan milk today. We had nut milks, almond milks, walnut milk, different types of milks like that. Okay. Yeah, I can eat cheese. I eat cheese okay, but I can't really drink milk. So I drink almond milk or rice milk. You know, I would drink walnut milk if it wasn't so expensive. But almond milk's probably about the cheapest one, even though that's a lot of watered down stuff. But that's what we use. We use the milk smushings and we use water. You said Robinson's surname were from. A lot of the Robinsons are out of North Carolina. I think I told you before, Carlene. I know you got peoples in Alabama too. I was supposed to do the Alabama video last weekend, but I was under the weather for surnames. So I'm gonna start back doing them. And you know, I got you, Carlene. I gotta send you an email too, for some of the information that I found. But yeah, I'm gonna get back on the surnames soon. Robinson, associated with the Powhatan people. It's a line of Robinsons that descend from Pocahontas. There's also Anawaia Cherokee Robinsons as well. So the Robinson surname is in dealing with the Algonquin people as well as the Iroquois people. Okay, and we know a lot of them people when they moved down south to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, they married in with the Muskogee people. And I hope that these libraries open up soon so I can go in there and find better information, some more information with our people, surnames and such. Renzo, you said you're lactose intolerant and hate milk. Yeah, I mean, our people, we know that they say so-called, quote unquote, African Americans, quote unquote, so-called American Indians are lactose intolerant. So they already know this stuff, and because we didn't have milk, that comes from Europe. The invention of that type of the dairy. Well, we had milk, but the whole thing with dairy products comes from Europe. It's not something that our ancestors' DNA would be used to. That's why we're lactose intolerant. Monty, let me put you on the screen. He said, I took an allergy test and it says I'm allergic to milk, and I drank milk a lot as a child. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. DNA is not connecting. I know my dad is lactose intolerant. I mean, I could always eat cheese, but when I drank milk, like at school, it didn't sit right with me. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me, but, you know, we can't have a lot of dairy. You want to have mac and cheese during Thanksgiving, harvest moon celebration, go ahead, but you can't have that every week. Can't have that every day. It's not going to be good for a lot of us. Celestine, the milk of today, like the cow's milk, I believe, is not the same as yesteryear. You're right, Celestine. I know you know a lot about health and things, and they're definitely putting hormones. They're beefing up a lot of these animals. He said homemade nut milk tastes so much better than store-bought milk. Oh yes, because the store-bought is mostly water. Like I said, it's mostly water in the stores. And I think they did several studies on certain almond milk brands, um, and they found that it's mostly water, 90% water. So some of us, we just don't want to put milk in our cereal. So, that's why I use the almond milk for my cereal mostly. Or if I'm making a dish, like I'll make macaroni cheese or something with the almond milk. And it still works the same. Still tastes good. It's less harsh on my stomach personally. Eugene, uh, you know about orange? We do a video William Orange. I think we talked about this before, Eugene, William Orange. That's what Orange County, Virginia is named after. Yeah, we talked about this before. And Orange County is a Powhatan territory, I believe. You said Dave Chappelle likes milk from Cambodia. What does that mean? Cambodian milk? I don't know about that. Cambodian food was not good to me. Thai food, but I never could do Cambodian food. You said, oh yeah, that reminds me of carnival. They literally have feathers and they're telling you who they are. Yes, the carnival is a ceremony basically giving props to the ancestors as well as certain deities. A lot of the deities from the Aztec culture, Maya culture, Olmec culture are being celebrated in carnival, especially Aztecs. You'll see a lot of the Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, and all these different Shebel and all these different deities. You see them with the feathers. That's the plum feathered serpent. You see the ladies with all these feathers, the men with all the feathers. This is who they're giving props to. And it really is a form of the Birdman ceremony as well. Okay? I was going to do a post on it. I might have to do a whole nother video on the Birdman ceremonies. And those Birdman ceremonies are clues to the 13 tribes of the She. So wherever you see those ceremonies, um, that's a clue because we did those ceremonies for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. You was what, 282. And that oh, oh, you made All right, y'all. Can y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear me? Y'all, y'all know once I start talking about your healing with the herbs, so things start messing up on me. Put one in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Karu, you said very true about carnival, but they tell us that it's African culture and that it was brought to the islands and parts of the South, not realizing that it was originally American Indian culture. Right. Show me where in Africa they doing this though. Show me where they got these costumes, and we can see the direct link of these costumes with the feathers, the jewels, everything. You can see that in the Aztec culture. You see that in the Maya culture. You see that in the Olmec culture. You see that in the woodland culture. You see that in the Tupinambay culture in Brazil. You see it in many different places. Here, but we're in Africa. You know, they got their own beautiful ceremonies. They don't really use the feathers like we do. Okay? Oh, thank you, Carly. I appreciate you too. Appreciate y'all patience with me. This thing has been acting up today. So, and I'm glad I have the StreamYard because then I can get back on it. If I was just on regular YouTube, y'all wouldn't I wouldn't be able to get back on. I have to keep making new videos. So that's why I like doing the lives from the StreamYard. I'm just gonna have to upgrade the StreamYard. So he was given a land grant by the government and they had to maintain a certain amount of livestock and produce to keep the land. He was assigned a supervisor to check on him and report to the government. You somebody in your family, Monty? Oh, let me get the first part. You said I was speaking with my husband's aunt. Oh, I'm sorry, Monty, you're a woman. I was speaking with my husband's aunt from Arkansas, and she had the pleasure of remembering her great grandfather who moved from Georgia because at the time Arkansas was allowing more people to buy land. Yeah, and that's what I was telling people before. A lot of people in Arkansas and Alabama come from Georgia, right? A lot of people from Mississippi, Louisiana come from Virginia. Both of those areas, or all three of those areas, all those areas, were opening up land, right? Especially after the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, so y'all see the history. That's why history is important with the genealogy, so you figure out what's going on. A lot of those areas were opening up land to be sold for a cheap price or to be worked for a cheap price. You know, a lot of people were able to share crops as well if they didn't own the land. So a lot of free people of color, okay, were moved over there to get some cheap land, as well as those were still in bondage because of their owners moved over there with a better opportunity. So y'all will see there's plantations in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, that whole Gulf area that has the same exact name as plantations in Virginia and North Carolina. Okay, so you will see that those same people or or descendants or relatives of those people who originally had those plantations moved over to those other lands, and just like they did in Virginia, North Carolina, and all them other places, Delaware, they built plantations on top of the American Indian towns. Okay. So that's so you got to connect all these things. Thank you, Yadameen. So we got nothing but love for you. Okay, appreciate you and your family as well. Uh, Renzo, you say yes. You don't find carnival in the countries in Africa. Carnival in the countries of Africa. They have their ceremonies that's rooted in near and dear to them. Just like we have ours in America, right? I mean, come on now. It's they want to keep putting stuff over there, but do you see a direct correlation with stuff that's already here? So why would it be from there if it's stuff that's already here? You know, you said they still own the land, but the family's trying to make her sell it. She's 98 years old. Yep, because a lot of the family they don't want to pay them taxes, so they need to figure out how if they're gonna pay the taxes, pay them, or they got to figure out how to be Indian non-tax. You know, a lot of our people be losing land for because we don't want to pay the tax money. And it's really sad. Or people fighting over the land. They don't want to split the land. They don't want to share it. So a lot of us are losing land right now. And people are ready to scoop it up. They actually have, tax lists. They're ready to go buy up people land who default on taxes. So if she, you got to make sure she's on top of it, or make sure whoever's going to receive the land when she passes on top of it. Or hey, try to get her to pass the land to you if you close to her like that, because if she knows you're going to appreciate the land, you're going to do something for your family with the land, and you're going to pay her taxes for her, she might do it. I've seen that happen in the country when people do that. Renzo, you are so right about people in Mississippi traveling over here from Virginia. When I did my genealogy, I traced mine back to Virginia. Yep, yep, yep. So there's a lot of people over there in Mississippi talking about they Choctaw and all this stuff when they didn't trace their genealogy all the way back enough. Okay, that's why I keep telling people y'all gotta get at least into the 1700s to be sure, unless there's some type of family history or some type of supporting document to tell you that you're from that certain tribe in the area, because your people could originate somewhere else. Okay, so but a lot of us in Virginia, in North Carolina, who's still in the Virginia, North Carolina, originate here, but some of us also have ancestors from New England area. Okay, we have ancestors from uh, New Jersey, from Delaware, up north as well. So you got to be certain and be sure. All right. Any of y'all want to come on? Let me see if I can put. I need to figure out how to put the thing in the chat. I don't know how to add it in the chat. I wish I knew how to put the thing in the chat. Hold on. I don't know how to put it in the chat, y'all. Okay, it's in the chat. So anybody want to come on here? Anybody want to come on here before I get off and ask a question or make a statement? Y'all welcome to do it. Monty said it's farmland and airland, and they want to sell for the money. She's the only family left in Arkansas, and they live in St. Louis, and they never came to Arkansas to visit. So the best thing for her to be is make sure she has her will. Okay, the will, and to have the will sent to the county, and they'll be able to take action dealing with the land. What you don't want is her to pass away and the taxes go on default and somebody else scoop the land up, because that's how they do. That's how they do. It's my family tree. I'm trying to figure out what other resources to use because I'm stuck in the early 1800s with most of my lines. Um, if you're that far, you should be able to find them on the free Negro registers. You should be able to find them on tax records. You should be able to find them on deed records if they're free, okay? Because they have to own land, right? Or they have to be deeded a horse or something to work the land, even if they're renting. So you should be able to find those records, Lexi. You might have to go to the county clerk. Like a lot of us, I notice a lot of people are doing their genealogy mainly online when 80% of the information is offline. That's where you're not finding stuff. So you might have to take a trip to those places or call those people. Now with the virus, you're gonna have to call these people first, and they might be able to email you a lot of this information. Okay, they bored. The ones that's at work, they're bored. They like to do this type of work. Okay, you might be a little fee, for copies, but you know. Renzo, you said I used to think that my people were just from Mississippi, but once I did my genealogy, I started seeing South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. If the tour ever come near my neck of the woods, right? You're in Mississippi, right? Yeah, we might be coming down Mississippi, Renzo. Monty, you said, do you have any videos on how to find our family information in the National Archives? No, I do not, but I can do a video. I don't believe they're open to the public right now. I can check. Once they open up to the public and stuff, I'll be able to go there and actually record some stuff because they're pretty cool in there. It's just the reception is bad, so I can't go live. But I can try to record some things. Mississippi doesn't like to give info. You're gonna have to go there. Several people are gonna make a trip down there. I've seen them talk about it. I remember they were on one of Phoenix Moon's video talking about they're gonna get together and take a trip to Mississippi to these archives because especially if they hear your voice, you know how they are out there. They still living back in rebel days, and everybody is not progressive. So you're gonna deal with some racism. So you might have to go down there yourself. They're not gonna go out the way to help you sometimes. So you're gonna have to go down there yourself. It's best you connect with your family members, and they'll be able to maybe if you have family in that area they might be able to go and search for stuff. You might have to send them a 20 or whatever, some gas money, but you might be able to get someone to do that. Gene, that's you said that's my ancestor too. I thought this is Mississippi, Tennessee, but it's also North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Alabama, and the islands. Okay, that's good. The islands too. That's what I'm talking about. The sundown towns. Y'all saw that first episode of Lovecraft. Y'all not finna go down there by yourself. That's why I said they're talking about making groups to go down. And that's why I said make sure you contact a family member or something. So you have backup. You don't want to be caught in no sundown town because y'all know Mississippi, they just got rid of slavery in 2003. They just abolished slavery in 2003 down there. You think Georgia is bad for some people, certain areas of Georgia. Mississippi just emancipated. It just ratified to the ending of enslavement. Okay, 2003. Yes, 2003, y'all. So yeah, L. Austin, no, yeah, you gotta go with them trappers and them whappers. Don't be going and them rappers. Don't be going by yourself, girl. Yeah, 2013, right? Yes, 2000 something. I knew it was something crazy. 2013, they just ended slavery. Yes, yes. You said what records are taken for free people of color? A lot of people overlook the Negro registers. Negro register. Also, the tax records. Okay. They want you to think the tax records are just pale people. As our people who are free as well in the tax records. They're not all the time. They're not going to say that the person is not pale. You know who your family name is, so you should be able to find the records in that county. Thanks to the website freeafricanamericans.com, some of our people's information, their tax records, are up there. Some of the free Negro registers are up there too. Now, those books are like $200 each, but he has put all three of the volumes, plus he's updating every month or so on the website for free. I think he just asked for a little donation here or there. It costs him, I know how much it costs to travel to these places. All the time and energy that he took. So, you know, it would be good to give him a donation. And yes, he is a pale man, but he is married to a melanated woman. So she helps with that as well. And some of the information is kind of biased because I believe his wife is, or at least was, into Pan Africanism. So she was into that type of stuff. So a lot of the, I think Phoenix was talking about this the other day. A lot of those free families on there really are indigenous, but they have them up as um, African American families because it's called freeafricanamericans.com. Or they say that they are mixed blood, but some of the families are not. They're indigenous families. And most of all of them have indigenous ancestors. Okay. You can see that with the surnames. We already done went over the surnames. Okay. Peace, Aphrodisiac. How you doing? Hey, Tamaya. So Tamaya or Tamia? It was Tamia. You said it would have been abolished in 1995, but they forgot to send goddamn fax. What? They forgot to send a fax. So we had to wait 18 extra years for it to be abolished. That is ridiculous. That is crazy. That is insane. Oh my God, I'm in the parking lot. Somebody out here listening to this broadcast. I don't know why they standing around. I'm in this grocery store parking lot. This guy's just like standing around. Oh, now he's moving. I think he's listening to what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but y'all see, don't play with them sundown towns. This stuff get real. It gets real. Nobody want to get on here? Nobody wants to speak? Y'all be scared of me. Y'all see y'all be having whole panels of people on other people's channel when they put the stuff in the chat. Y'all don't want to see me. y'all, y'all, y'all don't want to come on here with me. I'm nice. Sage, you said you were talking about the 13 tribes of she. Do you have any book recommendations on the topics? Um, I don't believe any of the books really get in depth with it. There's several. I'm gonna find some video clips for you. I've seen video clips talking about it as well. The Poo Ball book talks about certain aspects. You're gonna have to read between the lines for a lot of these things. So if you look into the books about the Maya, the Aztecs, and those cultures, you'll see little clues about it. Okay. Now the Aztecs aren't originally from Mexico. They come from the Southwest, right? Which some people don't know. They're the Anasazi people. So that's a whole nother subject. You said, where do the Lees and Jeters come from? Actually, the Lees and Jeters, a lot of them are in Caroline County, Virginia. One of the most famous Jeter, Derek Jeter, his family's from there, as well as the woman from Loving versus Virginia. Okay, Mildred Jeter, Loving. She's a Jeter. The Jeters are Rappahannock Indians. Okay, the Lee family, they go between many different tribes, associated with some Powhatan tribes in the area, as well as some Cherokee tribes and some Siouan tribes. So the Lees are several different families, though. Tamia, you said that's probably my family. They're from Mississippi. And just like we said earlier, a lot of those Mississippi people come from Virginia. Caroline County's in Virginia. No problem, Celestine. You said Robinsons and Thompsons. Yep, there's a lot of Thompsons in Virginia. They come from Siouan and Cherokee people as well. That whole Piedmont, there's a lot of Thompsons in the Piedmont area of Virginia. That's like the middle area. All right, y'all. So I've been on here an hour, 37 minutes. I'm at the grocery store. People look at me crazy. I told you the guy over there was listening. So I've been sitting out here for about 30 minutes. I need to go in the grocery store. Okay, y'all. So y'all have any more questions? You said Armstead. I think somebody asked me about Armstead before. I'm not too familiar about Armstead. They were on the surname list, and I'm not sure if when we did the Carolinas, I'm not sure if they're associated with the Iroquois tribes, like the Cherokee, or was it the Catawba? You have to go back and check those videos. So a lot of these surnames y'all asking about, I already did videos about these about 10 months ago, about these surnames. So you have to go back and check them. I'm going to make a playlist just for the surname videos because I get so many questions about them. So people can just sit and have a binge watch of all these videos. Okay. And then, yeah, Alabama, I was supposed to last weekend do a video on that. I'm going to cover, I'm going to try to do it this week, cover the free people of color as well as the enslaved people of Alabama and the different tribes and stuff that was there and the migration patterns. So I'm going to try to cover all that. Okay. Oh, hey Eugene, let me add you on.
What's up?
Wayne Gabo, Eugene, how you doing?
Fine.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
What did you want? Go ahead.
I'm trying to try first. It's my first time online. I'm kind of shy a little bit. I have a little stutter sometimes. So I just wanted to, I guess, go ask you. I don't know. For years, I've been finding people on my tree. I've been getting stuck sometimes. I don't know why. Hello,
What are,
can you
what
hear me?
I hear you. What are the issues that you're having?
Okay. Um, except before I've been on I got so many names. I've been going through the so many sites, and I'm, I'm always getting people with the same names as my folks have had. You know, Elizabeth Orange is one. Either she's on white or I don't know. I don't know. She was black, of course. Well, I mean black, but written down as that. But also, I've found her, well, someone else as white as well. I don't know why.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on what she looked like. So she might have been a lighter person. Lighter
Yeah,
skinned
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking that. I found her. Like I said, on two records. On one renowned as black. And on the 1880 census. Then as mulatto on the 1910 census.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And like I said, it's probably because she's a lighter skinned woman. So they put down whatever they saw. You know, if
Yes,
they
I was.
saw one drop
I'm sorry.
of look, in her, they'll put down black. They thought she looked mixed, they put mulatto, or she looks like a pure Indian or whatever their concept of Indian is. Or they thought she looked
Yep,
white, they put white.
yep, yep. Walking I remember a lady in North Carolina had told me that she knows how um the uh takers back then had written people down, and I
Mhm.
mean she told me it was wrong. I'm like, she knows who we are.
Yep, like I said, a lot of the people are not educated in what we know. So they're going to
Yep,
make these guesses and assumptions. And then, like you said, some of the people are here to throw us off because they don't want us
yep,
to know information.
yep. Yeah, but I mean that's all I have to say for now. I just want to I guess I mean try to stream for once, but I mean thank you though for your um help so far.
Yeah, no problem, Eugene. Thank you for coming on. You're like my first guest on here. So I appreciate it. I didn't even know how to do it properly. But thank you. You enjoy your
You're
day.
welcome. All right, you too.
Yeah, then
All right, later.
all right, y'all. Let's see. It says Sister She, Tasha She. My grandmother maiden name is Aldridge and King out of Georgia and Mississippi. And they call my great grandmother the Geechee woman. Well, Tony, you got clues right there that she's old Geechee probably from those people. And also, certain areas I know in Virginia, it don't seem like they like Geechee people. Because in Virginia, certain people will say somebody acting like a Geechee a certain way that they act as an insult. So hopefully they weren't insulting her. Hopefully they were talking about she is a Geechee from that culture. Are you okay, Eugene? I know everybody get nervous on here. I've just been on here a million times, so I'm like used to it. But I know I was nervous the first time I got on the camera, especially when you got your camera on. That's really nerve wracking because you can't see yourself all the time either. So make sure you can trace back to that area where the Geechee people were to make sure that she was really a Geechee woman and they weren't just saying like she was acting like a Geechee. I don't know if y'all heard of that before, but like in Virginia, somebody like, let me explain. I don't know how to explain it. But if somebody's acting goofy or they dressing funny or they just, we call them a Bama up here in Northern Virginia. They acting like a Bama, even though there's nothing wrong with people from Alabama. Somebody that's really country and aloof, and they call them Geechees here. She acting like a Geechee, or somebody who's trying to slick talk somebody, he acting like a Geechee. I don't know. Uh, so you got to make sure that they're not saying the person she's acting like a Geechee, that she really is from that bloodline. Okay. Tamaya, am I saying it right? I keep saying Tamaya. Just let me know if I'm saying Tamia. The Bird surname, yeah, it comes from Sir William Byrd. It's first and second. William Byrd the second, he was the one who drew the state line from North Carolina and Virginia. He also has the Westover manuscript that documented the Tuscarora people, as well as the Nottoway people, as being mahogany skin, being dark skinned people. He talked about Nottoway women being dark angels, having braided hair, like the braids we have, micro braids and stuff like that, and having the cowrie shells, the cowrie shells in the braids. Okay, and then eventually, those who were into the genealogy, I was on a genealogy forum, and he has several descendants who are looking for their family, and because he had a whole nother family with one of those Nottoway women. So some people in the Nottoway tribe have that bird surname. Okay, so this was a so-called European man. He was on. He went to several forums. So he was looking for his melanated family members. So he had did a DNA test with one person who was melanated. And he was trying to figure out what's going on. Coming to find out, William Byrd the second, even though he kind of dissed the women and saying that dark skin was kind of grotesque in that Westover manuscript, come to find out he was dipping in the chocolate. Okay, he he had a whole bloodline come from one of those Nottoway women. Okay, and those people eventually married other Nottoways, so they didn't even know that they had that mixture in them. And William Byrd was a pale European. Okay, so and then his pale line with his wife, they didn't even know they had these other people until recently. Okay, they didn't know they had this other family, so they're trying to embrace both families, bring them together. Ah, Halito Mingoism. You say, remember the Pan? Why do you keep calling them names? Don't call them that. Pan African, trying to pass off a European woman with a tan as mahogany. Who did that foolishness? Come on now. Everybody know what mahogany floors, mahogany tables look like. It sure is not a tan. And he described the micro braids, so ain't nothing coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? He described the hair. Ain't no Geronimo and them run around with micro braids. Ivana, yeah, I'm gonna make a playlist of the surname videos because everyone is asking about them. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for y'all later today. The Monacans, yes, the Monacans are from the Piedmont area. They are related to the Toledo people and the Sapanis. So all those people are Siouan people, and these Siouan people are related to the Sioux Lakota that moved from Virginia to the Plains area. Okay, so those people are related. So we had that whole thing a couple years ago where people were saying that, and I was one of them because I didn't know all the information until I actually talked to these people, saying that though the Plains people were different, that they're not our people, but some of those people, like the Lakota, Dakota, those people originate in Virginia and North Carolina, and they followed the buffalo out to the Plains area. And they did this to protect the buffalo because on the East Coast, these heathens was killing up the animals purposely to try to convert the wild Indians into colonialism. If they didn't have a food source, they have to get down or lay down, right? And you couldn't do but so much trapping and whapping at that time. When it started getting to the 1800s, you couldn't do so much on your own, and that's how they got a lot of our people, okay? Like killing off our food source. And buffaloes, you can feed the village. You can feed a whole town with one buffalo, one to two of them. right. Ivana, you said you're checking your site for one of the most common surnames, Thomas, seeking the indigenous background of either Choctaw or Apache. Grandfather's nickname was Tomahawk. Well, if his nickname was Tomahawk, I would not limit myself to Choctaw or Apache. Tomahawk is an Algonquian word for one thing. There's a lot of Algonquian Thomases as well as Iroquois Thomases, so I wouldn't just limit myself to those Choctaw and Apache people if you're trying to look for someone from the Thomas surnames. Okay. You said I was told that we had slaves at Plantation Thomasville or Thomasonville. Thank you very much. Look into the background of that plantation. You know the county from where it's located. You should be able to find deed records as well as tax records, probably estate records. You might be able to find slave schedules, probate records that's documenting all the items of ownership that they had of that plantation. You could possibly find journals and books on that plantation. So you got a wealth of information that you can possibly find with that information. So, do I know anything about the wards and the crew from Nottaway County? No, I do not know. I'm gonna after the Alabama video, I'm gonna try to do a Virginia one. I didn't. I don't think I ever did a full Virginia one. I did bits and pieces of it. So I might have to do a Virginia one. There's a whole lot of information dealing with that. You said, is there such thing as a Creole Indian? Yes, Creoles. Most Creoles are indigenous. Even if they're mixed with indigenous people. So Creoles usually just somebody who speaks French as well, too. But Creole has their own culture and they have their own look. Like people can look at someone and say that's a Creole, and how they talk and how they act, just like the Geechees, right? You know that people got Geechees got a bad reputation. You can tell who's a Geechee and who's not, and they can tell the difference from a Geechee and a Gullah as well. They're not the same people that came together. The Gullah and the Geechee, the old Geechee and the Gullah people are different. They came together. Okay. So we're getting to the 2 hour mark, y'all. I don't like to be on here too long. Like I said, I've been sitting in this parking lot. So I'm burning gas and sitting in the parking lot. I'm burning up because I cut the air off. Um, so I'm gonna have to get out of here. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate the support. Please share the video out. Please like the video. We're trying to get up to 10,000 subscribers so we can have this giveaway. Please hit up the Cash App when you get a chance. It's Cash App right here. Um, I'm trying to get some more books, some more information for y'all. Trying to get ready to get some of the traveling down once this lockdown ends, so we can go some places and do some things. Or go to the park because a lot of those parks are cost to go and park. You gotta buy a parking. It's silly. Like you gotta buy a parking pass. So the parking pass is like $7, $10 sometimes. Um, Mona, the Cash App is right here on the screen. $ Detasha She. You can also let me put it in the chat. You can also donate at PayPal because some people don't like to use Cash App. PayPal me / the Tasha She. I'm put in the chat right now. Oh, thank you, Night Owl. I appreciate y'all too. I appreciate all the gifts and donations. I'm not gonna be like a Umar and beg y'all whatever y'all can give, because I'm really using the stuff for y'all anyways. Appreciate you, Carlene, Yolanda. You said it make you pay. Yeah, they make us pay in these parks. Like some of the parks in Virginia, they're like some of the best in the nation. They claim, so they make us pay. Yeah, especially the ones with the little beaches, the ones that actually look nice and clean and good. They make us pay like $10 and stuff. Oh, no problem. Hopefully I answered y'all questions about Halloween. I know we got a little derailed and sidetracked, right? But the basis of the information was it's not evil. It's a celebration of our ancestors, celebration of the hunt, celebration of our cultures, and a reason to come together. That's what we had all these Thanksgivings. That's what we had the 13 Thanksgivings for. To come together, celebrate the 7 generations in the past that we descend from, and the 7 generations in the futures that will descend from us. Okay, that's what it's all about, y'all. I appreciate the donations, y'all. Thank you, Mona. I appreciate you. No problem. And if you got any questions, y'all, please email me at the tashashi@gmail.com. You got any more questions? When I see them, I try to answer, but the emails are so flooded that I can't get into them all the time. Okay, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on. We're planning for the No Grandma Killers Tour Philly. We got a whole bunch of going on. Peace, cousin Phoenix Moon. How you doing? So we're trying to get all this stuff together for you in the celebration of the ancestors, celebration of grandma and grandpa. Okay, so that's what we're working on now. So I explained that and more. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I don't want to waste 2 hours. you uh, Phoenix, I think Eugene wants your email. If she doesn't get a chance to put it up there, you can just email at nograndmakillers.com. And we both see those emails. I mean, nograndmakillers@gmail.com. Ah, thank you, girl. That this thing on lockdown can't do but so much shopping. That's why I'm at the grocery store. I had to get some juice and stuff like that. If I was y'all, I would be stocking up on water and juice and other little items, non-perishable items, because we don't know what's about to happen after this election. So it's better be prepared, and you gotta get prepared for the winter anyways. And like I said, this time of year is for when we got prepared for the winter or whatever's gonna come. So yeah, I suggest everybody do that if you can. I know everybody can't, but we don't got extra money. People can afford to get water. People can get canned foods. I see a whole bunch of people out here buying lots of water. So I'm just saying, y'all. Usually the pale people know they stocking up on water and toilet papers and stuff. So y'all need to do that. It said beans and bullets. Definitely beans. You got to know how to protect yourself. You might not have bullets, but you know how to make a weapon out of anything. That's what I was taught to do. You got to know how to make a weapon. You can take a mop and make something. You got to learn how to work what you can work with. Which movie, Phoenix? Is that the one that you were talking about the other day? I don't think I got a chance. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet because I had to take Little Bear. He went out. He wanted to go dress up and all that stuff, so I had to take him out. But once I watch it, I can talk about it. I can make another video. Yeah, bows and bullets, y'all. Buy one case, two cases of water. Right, exactly. Yeah, I see people with like